Hello there, beautiful people. Hope that you're doing great. My name is Mohammed Koucham. I'm a storyteller from Cafe Clock Marrakesh. Before I start, I wish that you're doing great. I wish that you are safe and sound and you're just chilling at home. And here I come with a story from the Moroccan culture. So, let's start. Once upon a time, ladies and gentlemen, there lived this man. This man lived in Marrakesh. His name is Ahmed. Ahmed here had a simple job. He would go to the woods, cut off the wood, and come back. He's a lumberjack. And we call him in Moroccan Batal. Now, Batal would go to the woods and he would do his job. But once he comes back, he stops by the souks to buy his needs, food, drinks, clothes, anything that he needs to use in his daily life. But before going back home, he buys bread from the best baker in town. And her name is Selwa. Her nickname, though, is Jarada. Jarada means frog. And you might wonder, why did she accept the nickname of frog? Well, she accepted it because she didn't mind that people were trying to bring her down. Because she didn't let what other people do bring her down. She had her own sense of positivity. She had a great personality. And that's something we aspire to have, all of us, specifically in times like these. Now, he would go buy bread and have a conversation with her. But with time, he realized something, that he fell in love with her. And that's a thing that is scientifically proven, that men fall in love with women any crack of a finger. So the thing that he did that is different from nowadays is, he went to her shop. As soon as he realized the feeling, he went to her shop and he said, Selwa, will you marry me? Not like what we do right now. Not like what we do right now is you realize the feeling, you have to go try to talk to her on Instagram or I don't know. You have to do a lot of things and waste a lot of time, but he did it straight to the goal. So the thing is, when he proposed, she said yes, but she didn't say yes in vain. Now, women are the smartest creatures on earth. Let me tell you that. Now, we're going to be talking about women within my story a little bit. The first thing about women that we need is the ability to analyze. Now, the time she spent with him, talking to him, she was analyzing how he behaves, how he carries himself, how he talks, how he thinks, how he reacts with people, with anything, with his surroundings. And then she knew that he really stands up for the status of a man, because man is a status, not only a word. In order to be a man, you have to be reliable, you have to be responsible, you have to be funny, you have to be a lot of things. So she said yes. And then they carried on with their marriage ceremony. Now after they got married, things got back to normal. Ahmed being a lumberjack and Selwa being a baker. Now one day Selwa, she was sitting in her chair, like she was sitting in her spot like I'm doing right now, and then she had her bread in front of her, selling, sharing positivity and everything, and then she spotted this convoy coming from far. Now that convoy was the royal convoy. And I'll explain something to you. Ruling families back then, the rich families back then, specifically the ones that rules the city and that rules the country, they used to do these random checkups on the city to see if everything is okay, if everything is good, to give gifts and stuff. And that day, the princess was on top of that convoy. Okay. Now, she was sitting in the convoy. The princess was giving gifts. She loved going out and seeing her people and helping them, and just doing good and spreading positivity and everything. And the princess was the role model of Selwa. So when Selwa saw the princess on the convoy, oh my God, she was like sat on her chair, kept watching the princess. And then, in the process, the princess was so into her moment, but her necklace fell off. That necklace was a gift from her father that he got from his grandmother. So basically that necklace is so precious, far from the materialistic value of it. It had an emotional value. And that's something, that value is, you can't replace it with anything. You just can't. Because that thing may be a bottle of water. If your father gave you a bottle of water, and then your father passed away, may he rest in peace, or I don't know, it would be having this value into it. Because it will bring back memories. It will bring back feelings. It will bring back so many things that we cannot replace nowadays with money or with precious things, materialistic ones. So she lost her necklace. And then, the only person who saw what happened was Silwa, because the princess didn't feel the necklace falling off. And in that 2 seconds that the necklace took to fall from the neck of the princess onto the ground, she had a plan. Yep, which brings us to another thing. Another quality about women, fast reflex. Women can come up with the fastest plans any crack of a finger. Now, the plan that she had was to go take the necklace, take it all the way back to her husband, and then she would tell him how to do, because if he goes to the palace with the royal necklace, he would be immediately considered as a thief. Unfortunately, her plan didn't come to life, because as soon as the convoy passed, the royal kettle passed. Bunch of sheep and cows on their shortcut way back to the palace, and this cow ate the necklace and the grass and moved along the way. Now, Silwa was observing the whole scene. Another quality about women, sense of observation. In the hardest situation in life, they can remain calm to gather up data to find solutions for problems. So, this one is for the couples, specifically the married people. I'm gonna give you a rule. A happy wife is a happy life. That's an intergalactic law. Now let's go back to our story. She gathered up her stuff and went back home. And then she found her husband sitting in his chair chilling, because he just came back from a hard, long day of work, like he was very tired. Now here, she wanted to talk to him, but she couldn't. She went to him, all gracious and smooth, so that she won't disrupt his peace. She said, "My love, my king, can I talk to you for a second?" Then his heart skipped a beat after hearing his wife. His heart skipped a beat after hearing his wife. "Yes, my love, what do you want? What is it that you want?" She made him stand up. Now, here's the thing. And cue the most favorite words that women like to say. Pay attention and do exactly as I say. Is that right? And then he said, yes. She said, "I need you to pretend that you're an astrologist." What? Whoa. What? Silwa, no, I don't know nothing about astrology. I said, pay attention and do exactly as I say. But I said, pay attention and do exactly as I say. Never make your wife repeat herself more than 2 times. A happy wife is a happy life. Okay. Now he said, okay. Now you're going to pretend that you're an astrologist. I'm going to teach you, coach you what to do, how to talk, how to walk and everything. And I'm going to give you the details, everything that you need after you come back. So he was prepared. He was looking like an astrologist with a jalaba like this one, a turban on his head, a cane and a bag. He went to the palace. Now when he went to the palace, he met His Majesty the King. His Majesty the King was a bit suspicious, because he never told that his daughter lost her necklace. So here, he said, "Your Highness, I'm an astrologist and I know that you lost. And I know that your daughter lost her necklace. And I'm here to retrieve that necklace." The king played along. And as he was doing what he was doing, he stopped and he said, "Everybody stop. Now, I need your shepherd to bring all of the sheep and the cows and all of your cattle in this royal court." "What?" he said. "What am I going to do with a bunch of sheep and cows in my court?" And then Ahmed decided to take a little bit of revenge on the king, and he said, "Your Highness, pay attention and do exactly as I say." So he accepted. Until Ahmed saw the specific cow, they brought the cow. And then he took his knife, and then he extracted the necklace. The king was super surprised. He immediately ordered his guards to clean up that cow and distribute it on the people that can't find anything to eat. out of his happiness, because he found the necklace that he got from his grandmother and gave it to his daughter, he decided to give gifts to all of the people of the city. And he called for the princess. She was super happy. She retrieved her necklace and went back to her room. Now, we have Ahmed. He must be rewarded because he retrieved the necklace of his daughter, of the daughter of the king. Okay. Now the king spoke to Ahmed and he said, "You know what? I trust you. My gut feeling tells me to trust you. And I'm going to give you 10,000 golden coins and then some fancy clothes made out of silk. Do you have a wife?" Ahmed said, "Yes." Give him some fancy clothes for his wife as well. And then go. This is my token of gratitude. Now, up to this point, we have, in our daily lives, we have envious people. And the envious person in this story is the Prime Minister. Because as soon as Bartal went out, the Prime Minister approached His Majesty the King and said, "What are you doing? 10,000 golden coins for a con artist? This is just a propaganda, Your Majesty. And I can prove you wrong. But I have a condition." Now, this conniving little Prime Minister, he had a plan. And then he said, "Your Highness, I know how to bring him down. Just let me do my job." The king said, "What is your condition? Because nothing happens for a reason with you. What is your condition?" The Prime Minister said, "If I succeed, you're going to give me the hand of your daughter for marriage." Aha. You're seeking my throne. Okay, but if you don't succeed, you are going to be exiled, you and your family. The Prime Minister accepted. And then the Prime Minister said, "You know what? I'm going to tell you my plan right now and tell me how it goes." And then the Prime Minister said, "Your Highness, we're going to call Batal. But before we're going to call him, tomorrow, I'm going to take 3 pots. 3 pots. I'm going to take those 3 pots. I'm going to fill the first one with butter, the second one with honey, and the third one with tar. And those 3 pots, we're going to hide them under the ground in the royal garden. Now we're going to call him. We're going to invite him for brunch, have fun a little bit. And then you're going to tell him, let's go for a walk. And you're going to ask him to guess what is under the ground as soon as we reach the spot." So they did. The next morning, they called for Ahmed. Now, before going out, his wife told him. His wife kind of felt something. She had this gut feeling in her. His wife told him, I'm just feeling like I want to tell you a quote. And remember it, please. The first one is butter. The second one is honey. And the third one is tar." Now, this quote works whenever we get into trouble. Whenever we face trouble, the first one is on our side. Luck is on our side. The first problem went so smooth like butter. And then the second problem went so sweet like honey. But the third one is tar, pitch black. Oh my God. This is a quote that we have in our culture. Now, let's go back. He went on his mission with the royal guards to attend the brunch of His Majesty the King. He was super surprised. He thought that they mistaken the house. Oh my God. Now he entered, he had brunch with His Majesty, he chilled, he listened to some music, and all of that was a cover-up so that he won't suspect anything. Okay. Now, everything finished, they listened to music and all that, and they went for a walk in the garden. At that time, to make it even more not suspicious, the king was joking around with him and all that. And they reached the spot. The king grabbed him by the shoulder and told him, "I need you to amuse us with your great set of skills in astrology and fortune-telling. How about you would guess what is under the ground?" Bartal couldn't believe it. The only thing he thought about is the quote that his wife told him before he gets out. Because he was facing a problem. And then he said, "Your Highness, now here's the thing." And from in the inside, he thought that, "Oh my God, this is my last." Now here's the thing, Your Highness. The first one went so smooth like butter. The second one is so sweet like honey, but the third one is tar, pitch black. Now, this quote, he used it because he was in trouble the first time. I mean, risking his life going to the palace of His Majesty the King, pretending that he's an astrologist. But it went so smooth like butter. The second one was so sweet like honey that nobody came looking for him. But the third one is tar pitch black is the problem he was facing at that moment. The problem he was at that moment. The king couldn't believe it. Oh my god. The prime minister couldn't believe it. Oh my god. He just mentioned the components of what is under the ground. The king jumped at him and hugged him, and then he said, "Guards, take this prime minister away. Guards, take this prime minister away." Now, you sound like a solidified astrologist, and I thank you so much. And I need people that I trust in my palace. So how about you would bring your wife and start living with me in my palace, because from now on, you are the head of my consultants. He accepted. He couldn't say no. Now he got that position because of what? Because he listened to his wife. Okay. Now he went to his house, he talked to his wife about it, they gathered up their stuff and came back. Now actually, the position of head of consultants went to his wife. And here how it went. Whenever the king had an inquiry, he would call for Bartal. He would come, he would talk to him, he would listen to him. And then Bartal would say, "Can I get a minute to think?" He would go all the way back to his palace, talk to his wife in his room, and then he would take what his wife said to the prime minister. Now men, listen to your wives. And everybody lived happily ever after. Thank you so much for listening to my story. And we're gonna try doing our best. And thank you so much. Enjoy.
Oh, lovely people. That was a fine telling from a great storyteller. And whether they're in Morocco or just want to donate their funds to Morocco, put their hats going towards the Moroccan storytellers, anything would be incredibly appreciated. Because those tellers down in Morocco, you know, it's not come June, they'll look at their tax returns and decide what the government's going to go with them, and there's no social security and there's nothing there. They're just living on thin air, so anything you can put in the hat would be appreciated. Thank you. And however you're watching this, if you're watching it on something else, go to worldstorytellingcafe.com.